Right, now, how good a cook are you? Are you a knocked up from scratch kind of a chef, or maybe a fan of the old rotisserie chicken and salad? Maybe a dine-in for two, or even one convenience meal? For the have-a-go chefs among us, emulating the meals we enjoy in restaurants is one of the biggest challenges, and curries are perhaps one of the hardest things to get right. Well, one Northeast restaurateur is hoping to change all that by selling the secret to authentic curry, the blend of spices in a jar. You might wonder what's new about that, but for Amina Begum, the goal isn't just selling spices, it's about teaching people the key to cooking curries the right way. Amina and her husband Roy, who runs Mivesi in Alnwick, offered to come in and teach me the tricks of the trade. For health and safety reasons, we had to set up a trestle table and a camping stove in the car park. Or maybe people have just heard of my lack of cooking skills. Not exactly MasterChef, is it?
So when we launched our restaurant in 2012, customers were consistently asking us for recipes. Now, it's hard to explain recipes when you've got so many spices to put together. So myself and my husband, we were like talking about it and thinking, well, why don't we put the spice blends together and give them the recipe to go with it? And that's how it sort of came together. Then I spoke to my packaging company and my printers in Print Northeast and asked them if they could sort me some packaging out, which they did. And then we launched this in the Alnwick Food Festival, just a test run, just to see if there was a big market. And we sold just over 100 boxes in 2 days.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So basically what we've got here is we've got a little box, and in the box here it's got 3 different spice blends. Just tell us about these spice blends.
So we've got 6 blends altogether. The box that you're looking at there is our autumn winter box that we launched in 2016. So in that one you've got the farash, which is a lovely red meat spice. It's actually my dad's recipe. He always used to cook that with like sort of mutton and beef, and it's more sort of warming spice, like lots of garam masala and cinnamon and cardamom in there. Then you've got the malai, which I'm going to cook today for you. That's a coconut savoury one. It's almost like a Thai curry if you add the green chilies to it. So that's our malai sort of spice. And then you've got the methi. Now that's my favourite. It's got fenugreek herbs in it and makes a lovely sort of fragrant aromatic dish. Goes really well with any type of white sort of chicken, turkey, that kind of thing, any sort of white meat.
So curry's one of those things, isn't it, that, you know, everybody loves a curry. Pretty much everybody loves a curry. But they might not be confident enough to cook it themselves.
Yes.
So what you've done here is you provided the spice mixes for the different curries. In there, of course, there is also a cookery book, basically the instructions, if you like. Mm-hmm. But what else do you do?
So what my sort of aim is, and myself and my husband, what our aim is to show the British public that cooking a curry is easy. It's not, you've got your difficult ones and you've got the everyday sort of cooking, and what we sort of do every day, which literally takes us half an hour. You need your basic ingredients like your onions, your chicken and your coriander and water. That's the other thing, it's really healthy. It's not fattening at all because we mainly use water as our liquid base or coconut milk. And that's what it is. It's to sort of show people how easy it is to make your own curry. If you've got the right spice blend, you can do it the same curry every single time.
Tell me what it is that you do on YouTube.
I've shown sort of quick videos of how to sort of make the curry sort of, simply, so they can sort of, if somebody's not sure, they can just quickly go on YouTube and just see the quick steps and just follow that.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? You know, I like following a recipe, but at the same time, curry is something I have never even attempted to make. And I think being able to see you do that, yes, and demonstrating it, so to speak, as well as having the spices and the recipe book and the instructions and all that kind of thing, actually seeing it is a really big help.
Yes, that's right. I think it sort of, increases in the confidence. For instance, I can cook sort of curries. You tell me any sort of authentic Bangladeshi dish to cook, I can cook them. But I had a fear of baking back in 2011, and I wanted to crack that. So I watched a lot of videos, a lot of reading helped, and that's where the idea of the YouTube videos came from, because it helped me seeing somebody bake, and it sort of helped my confidence. And I think that's what the YouTube videos does. If somebody's not confident enough, they can always go on YouTube and see the videos, and that just increases the confidence level and say, oh, this is easy. Just the basis is the onion, make sure the onion's done right, roast the spices right, and you're done, you're set.
Gosh, you make it sound so easy, if only. Some people might say, well, hang on a second, you run a restaurant with your husband. Why would you want to tell people the secret to a good curry? Surely that's discouraging them for coming in and eating them in the restaurant.
I have been asked that question so many times. To me, cooking at home is something you do sort of out of love. You want to do it. And if you're going to go out for a meal, you're going to go out for a meal regardless. I mean, I cook all the time at home, but, on occasions I go out for a meal. It's a treat. It's a treat that you go for. And, learning to cook properly and how to make healthy, clean eating dishes is something you can't beat, really. I mean, that's what curries are. Bangladeshi authentic curries are clean eating. You use lean meat, you use less fat, and it's a healthy way. Even I'm looking to go onto the Slimming World website with these because they're so healthy and almost 0 points, apart from taking, you can use something like Fry Light instead of sort of full-blown vegetable oil or olive oil, and that makes it even more healthier.
Gosh, that's good, because a lot of people will probably assume that curries are unhealthy.
Yes, I think they
can
do.
be, I guess.
There can be. I mean, we have unhealthy. Say, if, for instance, in our other box, we have a curry called the murabba. That's an authentic kurma with a hint of chili. Now, that is not your everyday curry. We only cook that to show off, almost. So a murabba is something I cook, say, if I was inviting a new sort of guest into the house, or it's a very sort of a rich curry, and it's very done for... if I'm inviting son-in-law, that's what we call them. It's a special curry. We want to show off to our guests, and it's full of cream. It's full of sugar. It's an occasional curry. The rest everyday curries are very, very healthy because your sauce is the water and your onions the base, and that's how it makes it sort of healthy. We go to the food festivals and various markets. Tynemouth is our regular market. I've established that one because I gave choice between Tynemouth and Quayside, and Tynemouth I've stuck with, and also all the food festivals around the northeast. We're online. You can buy online. We've got our website, and that's where we are at the minute.
So that was the beginning of my car park curry lesson from Amina, and I couldn't believe how healthy she said a curry could be. Honestly, coming next, the secret of the onions before 11 o'clock. But at the moment, we all know that we Brits absolutely love a curry. But do you cook them yourself? Perhaps you've ventured as far as adding one of those jars of curry sauce to some chicken, but would you feel confident cooking one from scratch? Well, I certainly didn't know where to start, didn't have a clue. So I got Northumberland restaurant owner Amina Begum to come in and show me just how easy it can be. Now, Amina and her husband Roy are on a mission to prove to the North East that it really is easy. After Amina hit on a business idea of selling spice blends and putting how-to tutorials online, basically, for customers. I met her in that well-known culinary hideout, the BBC Newcastle car park, to find out if it really is possible to make a healthy, authentic curry first time in a parking bay with a camping stove. So what's on the menu?
We're going to cook you the malai. We're going to do it with the chicken. You can do it with a prawn or fish, but I'm going to do it with the chicken and just show how quick and easy it is.
Great, let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to turn this on. Okay, so we're going to go with about 60 ml of oil.
And what kind of oil is that? Vegetable oil?
I'm using normal vegetable oil. That's what we use normally. If you want to go healthier, you can use olive oil. I've got garlic and ginger paste here. You don't need it because it's already in the spice blend. So I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of that in. So just going to wait for that to sort of sizzle and brown off.
Smells nice already. I'm happy already.
Pan-wise, you can use anything, any sort of pan. It doesn't have to be anything special, just a thick bottom pan so it doesn't burn. I've got some par-cooked onions. Now that hints and tips is on the website. It's in the cookbook as well. You can par-cook them in a slow cooker and you can sort of, portion them out and put them in the freezer. Mm-hmm. And then whenever you want to make a curry, you've got some onions ready, because that is the longest part of cooking the curry, is making sure that your onions cooked off. So I've got 1.5 onions here.
Listen to this sizzle. The longest part of cooking the curry is the onions. So I would assume that cooking a curry takes a long time.
It doesn't. I mean, this will be done in about half an hour at the most. Because I've already had my onion all parboiled, it will literally take me about half an hour, not more than that. Okay, so I'm going to wait for that to sort of warm through. I mean, at this point you can put the lid on and let it sort of heat through properly, and then I will be adding our Malai spice.
And this is one that is provided in the spice jars, the one of the sets of 3,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
And you said this was like a coconutty one.
This is a coconut one. This is coconut, turmeric, a little bit chili, cumin. Sort of, it's a blend of spice that goes in there. Can you see how the water sort of evaporated out? You've got to sort of make sure that all the water is evaporated out of the onions, and it's gone nice and soft like that, and it's like mushed up a bit. So you don't want the onions raw, hard, because if you have sort of hard onions, it's not nice. You've got to make sure it's nice and soft, and it's like the water's come out, and then you're almost ready to add your spices.
The ginger smells really nice, actually, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I mean, that's the key, is to put the garlic and ginger into your oil, and that's called a bagar. That's what we say. I don't know what I would translate it to in English, but it's almost the base of the curry, really, the onion and the garlic and ginger. The onion is the important part. I mean, oftentimes when I've been in rush and I've just like not cooked off the onions properly, the curry doesn't smell out nice. So take your time in this part, cooking off the onions. That is the important part.
When you see, the supermarket shelves lined with these jars full of curry sauces, and you see these convenience packs, what are your thoughts?
I'm like thinking, why? It literally takes probably as long as warming that sauce up. If you have the onions ready in your freezer, as long as it takes to warm that sauce up, you can have a proper fresh curry, a clean curry ready. What I mean by clean curry is sort of healthy, sort of, with ingredients that you know what goes in, rather than relying on somebody else.
That's what it's about nowadays, isn't it? Clean eating. A lot of people
Exactly.
refer to food as clean food.
Exactly. So I'm going to put the spices in now.
And this is the spice blend that you would receive as part of your spice jar packs.
Yes. So it's already in there, so you don't have to worry about sort of, what to put in. Just follow the simple step-by-step instructions. The general guideline is about 2 teaspoons per person, if you're not sure of how much to put in.
So how many curries would you say that out of your pack of 3 spices you could potentially get?
So out of each jar, if you're cooking for 2 people, it's about 4 separate curries, 8 to 10 servings. Out of each pack, you get 24 to 30 servings. They're only priced at $9.99, so you get a lot of curries for the price you pay.
Right, the chicken, you've put the chicken in the
Yes.
pot now.
So the idea is to roast the spices for 2 minutes, making sure that you're stirring on low heat. It is important to roast the spices, otherwise you won't get the full flavour. And then you can add a splash of water if it's sticking. If it's not, you can add your chicken, and you can seal the chicken. So the idea is to make sure all the waters come out of the chicken and it's nice and sealed. And then in this one, I'm just going to finish it off with some coconut milk. It's a simple, easy, very easy one.
I think that maybe even I could cook this.
Yeah, it's that easy. Just simple. That's the idea. I want to show people that cooking curry isn't hard. Okay, so my chicken's sort of nice and sealed now. So I'm going to add in the coconut milk. So this part is up to you. Some people like their curries quite saucy, quite runny, and other people like it quite dry. So whatever, be it coconut milk or water, you sort of gauge what sort of sauce level you want, and you can put that amount in. We give you a guideline about 250 to 300 ml. You can follow that guideline, or you can put in the amount you think. So after you put your coconut milk or water, whatever it is in, bring it to boil and simmer for a good 10-15 minutes. If you don't simmer it, everything won't infuse together, and that's where the thickness sort of comes in from.
So the lovely curry here is kind of bubbling away, it's simmering away.
Okay, we're going to add a handful of coriander, and that's it, and just let it simmer and come together. Can you see? I haven't put any corn flour or anything. It's just onion, spice, chicken, and can you see how thick my sauce is?
Well, it looks and it smells absolutely amazing. And you know what? It tasted great. It really, really did. It was fab. So that was Amina Begum teaching me how easy it is to cook a curry from scratch. And if you're interested, you can check out Amina's business idea at Tynemouth Market most weekends or by visiting Mivesi Spices Facebook page. It is BBC